Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is EK Math Academy greeting you. So today we're going to do this past paper question. As you can see it here, this is the one we're going to do, October, November 2025, non-calculator paper. Okay, are you ready, guys? Okay, without further ado, let us dive into this. Good. Now, the formulas, as usual, they're always given. But I always say advise students, it's very good and very important and crucial and vital if you know the formulas in your head. It will always help you to get, it's easier when you're interpreting the questions. But in case you forget something, just check the cover page or the first page where the answers are given. Very good. This is the first question given. Good. Remember here, calculator is not allowed. They said the temperature at 4 a.m. was this, and then temperature at 4 p.m. was 21 degrees Celsius. Find the increase in temperature. So whenever you're finding increase or change or range, you get the biggest number minus the smallest. This is the biggest number minus that. So it will be minus and minus. So when you have minus followed by minus, becomes a plus. So that's how I'm going to get 21 plus 12, and that's the answer, degrees Celsius. Okay, very good. Question 2. Find all the common factors of 8 and 12. And this is very easy to do, but I decided to show the working. So I listed down all the factors of 8, which is 1, 2, 4, 8. And I listed the factors of 12, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12. Now, which one are the common factors now? It's going to be 2, 4, and 6. 2 free marks already given. Very easy if you are ready for your exam. Very good. Question 3. A cuboid has a length of 6 centimeters and a width of 5 centimeters and a height of 2.5. Work out the volume of the cuboid. So the volume of a cuboid is given by length times width times height. So just multiply your numbers and that gives you that, okay? So very easy to do. This is 30, if you don't have a calculator, and then you multiply by 5/2, and then becomes the primary work, which will give you 15 times 5, and then gives you that, okay? A computer costs this, okay? In a cell, when they are selling it, the cost is reduced by 20%. Initially, you had 100%, and then it is reduced by 20%. So you're losing 20%. You remain with the 80%. So this 80% is, what cost is that? So you get 80 of 100 times 560, and then by simplifying, cancel that, cancel this, and that, you get 8 times 56, and when you multiply, you're going to get that. Okay, I hope we are together, right? Question 5. The pie chart shows some information about the way 600 students travel to school. Some walk to school, go by bicycle, others they go by the car, others they go by bus. Okay, good. Go with car, bus. So now, the information is given here, but let me try to go through the question. Now, what does this mean, guys? It means 90 degrees. Work out the number of students that walk to school. So, okay, that would be 90. The pie chart, the total angle of degrees of pie chart is 360. So get 90 over 360 times 600, because that's the total number of students. Then students who go to school by walking is going to be this. Very good. 120 of the students travel to school by car. Okay, the remaining students travel by bus. So 120 students, they go by car. So what's the degrees of those students? Just get 120, divide by 600, which is the total number of students, times 360, and then gives you 72 degrees. Use your protractor. From here, you measure 72 degrees and you mark. For me, this is a sketch. You should do it with a protractor. You can start from here or you start from here, it doesn't matter. You can start here or here. May I prefer to go with this, and you measure using your protractor, and you put there 72 degrees and you write there car. Is that okay? Now, what's the degrees remaining? This is 90. This is that guy. This is 90 degrees. This is 60 degrees. This is 72 degrees. So what's the remaining? It is 360. Oh, my bad. Okay, 360 minus 72 plus 60 plus 90. And when you subtract that, it will give you this. So that is the, so it will give you that one. And then this is the degrees, and that is the by part. I hope you have understood this question about the pie chart. Okay, very good. Next question. Next question is this is the question that was given. They said it's a four-sided figure as mentioned here, and they said this side is parallel to that. For me, I did this one to see exactly what we have, and even here, if you check, it's a straight line graph. So if this line is parallel to this, I can even do this for you to see. So these two lines are, so meaning this is co-interior with this, and co-interior angles add up to 180 degrees. That means if this 70, I'm saying this angle here, this is this angle I'm talking about, 75, and the angle here, they are co-interior angles, and they add up to 180 degrees. So get 180 minus 75, and that one gives you 105. That's the answer here. Okay. Now, let me try to do the question. Then I'll keep on explaining. Angle ABC. ABC. This is the angle they were asking me. So that's already I've got that one. Or you can go with the alternate angles. This angle here, sorry, my bad, I have to indicate that one. This angle here is alternate to this, and alternate angles are equal. So then you remember angles on the straight line add up to 180. Still get 180 minus 75, and also gives you 105 degrees. Wow, very good. Now, angle AED. AED. They're talking about, this is the angle. Now, this is the angle that was given. I have already calculated this, and this was given. So a four-sided figure and a four-sided figure add up to 360. So get 360 minus this, minus this, minus this. Then you are going to have this one. And angles on the straight line add up to 180. So this one will be 180 minus 100, and that's what gives me 80 degrees. Do you understand, guys? Very good. Next question. Next question, then they said, calculate angle B and angle DAB. DAB. This is the angle they're talking about. Let me use a different color. This is the angle they're talking about. DAB. DAB. That's the angle. So when you check, we already have 75. We didn't have this. But they told me this line is equal to that. So what does that mean? It means I'll get that it's a triangle. Angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. So you're going to get 180 degrees minus 80 degrees divided by 2. That gives me 50 degrees. So meaning this angle here is 50, and also this one is 50 degrees. Are we together, guys? So now, after getting 50, to get this angle they are talking about, I'll get 50 plus C. I'll get 50, 50 plus 75. And that gives me 125 degrees. Is that okay? Very good. Question 7. Represent an equality given by that. Your inequality is from -4, but you have to be careful. -4 is not included, but 3 is included. So you have to go to 4, you mark there 0, but you don't shade it. And then you go to 3 and you shade it. This one here, you have to shade, and then you go all the way to this one. But this one will not be shaded because here there is no this. I hope you understood that. Okay, very good. Okay, question is, Kemi buys P pens that each cost 40 cents and she pays $20. Write an expression in terms of P for the change in cents if Kemi receives from $20. Okay, now they're talking about design cents, and we know that cents to dollars, we have to multiply by 100. So I'll start by getting my $20 multiplied by 100 to get the cents, right? Is that okay for everyone? So I'll get 2,000 cents. But he bought P pens, and each pen was this. So how much did he pay? It is the 40 times number of pens bought. So the total amount of money he's paying is 40p, but he had 2,000 cents. So you get 2,000 cents minus that, and that gives you this easy lemon peasy, easy as pie. Good. Next question. Okay, this is the person they talk about. He had a bottle of juice, and he drinks 1/3 of the full bottle on Monday. Then he drinks 3/7 of the full bottle on Tuesday. Okay, find a fraction of the bottle of the remaining. Okay, very easy. So initially he had 100%, or he had a full fraction of 1 minus 1/3 minus 3/7. If you work out, that's what you're going to get here, and then that's what is going to remain with. Okay, I hope you understood that. Very good. Question 10. B is given by this formula, and then they give you the value of D and the value of M and the value of K. Then they said by rounding each value to one significant figure, work out an estimate for value of B. The trick in the question is the one significant figure. So this one, when I connect to one significant figure, I'll get this one, and then this one, and then this one. One significant figure, that means I go to this one. If the number coming next is less than 5, that number stays, because this is 3, 1 will not increase my number. This is 7, but the number after is 9. So as long as it's 5 more, it's more than 5, it will increase the number. That's why I have this, okay? Then this one will say as that, substitute in the formula, and then you're going to have that, okay? Then they said rearrange the formula to make M the subject. We are making M the subject, and M is appearing on the two things. So the first thing I need to factorize M. M is common, though, so that's why I factorize this M, because it's appearing on two things. I take M the side outside. So B is equal to M outside, I'll main with the D, and then I'll main with the 2K. What am I making the subject? M. Therefore, I divide by D plus 2K, both sides. Therefore, M will be given by that. Very good. Now, next question here. This question is about similarity. So, very easy, but you need to be knowing some things. So, from the question here, we have two triangles. We have a big triangle, which is the big triangle P, Q, and then R. That's a big triangle. We have a small triangle, which is P, S, T. These two triangles are similar. Why? The angle here and the angle here, they are equal. Why? This side, this line, sorry, is parallel to that, meaning this angle here is corresponding to this. And the angle here is also corresponding to that. So that's why you see what I said here. That's the reason why these two triangles are similar. They are similar because this angle is corresponding to that, and this angle is corresponding to that. Okay, I hope you remember things of parallel lines, right? If this line is parallel to that, and then I have a line like that, this angle here is alternate to that, but this one here is going to be equal to this by using corresponding angles, right? And this one is vertically opposite to that, and then also gives you that. That's the idea. Those are the angle properties we are talking about here. Very good. The third one, this angle here, angle P, is shared by the two triangles, triangle PQR and triangle PST. They are being shared by both triangles. So basically, all angles are equal. So that's why this triangle and this one are similar. I hope you have understood that. Here we go. Very good. Now, similarity, then they give you the side, then they're asking you, ST is given as 3 centimeters, QR is given, and PS is given. Then they said work out PQ. So PQ, they give you this as 5, then this is a 9, and this is a 3. Then they're asking you PQ. PQ is the whole of that, the big side of this triangle. PQ divided by the side of the small triangle will give me that is the same as this one divided by that. When you cross multiply by 5 the other side, then you're going to have this and then gives you that. Okay, very good. The area of a triangle PST is 2K centimeters squared. Find in terms of K the area of a quadrilateral QRTS. Okay, now we know that from similarity some few formulas you need to know. When you are dealing with the sides, the big length divided by the smaller one. That's the linear scale factor. Area scale factor, which is K squared, will be given by area 2, big area, divided by small area. That's why you see here, I got the big area, divided by the area of the small triangle, PST. Okay? PST, that's the small triangle, this one. And then we are talking about big triangle, okay? Now, big area over small area should be equal to the big side over small side, but I have to square because we are dealing with the area scale factor. So now that is fast forward. What is the 9 divided by 3, guys? That is the 3 squared gives me 9. Cross multiply times 2K. So the big area becomes this. That's the area of the everything in a triangle, the big triangle. But the question was asking me this. So to get this area, you have to get the big area of the big triangle minus the area of a small triangle. Do you understand? Hopefully you get that. That's why you see I got the area of a big triangle minus the area of a small triangle, and then I have that one. Okay, very good. Next question. In a fitness club, it has 100 members. The swimming is that, cycling is that, then 25 don't participate in anything. Now, we don't know those that are participating in swimming, both swimming and cycle. So let me call it X, right? So if I call it X, those who are doing only swimming will be 60 minus X. Those who are doing cycles only, it will going to be 70 minus X. So all I know, if I get this plus that, plus this, it should give me 100. That's why I did 60 minus X plus 70 minus X plus 25 should be equal to 100. Now, this cancels out because they have opposite side. Then I'll get 60 plus that is the 130 plus 25 gives me 155 minus X equals 100. Correct like terms. Bring 100 the other side. Take X the other side. So X is equal to 55. That is the intersection. Those who are doing both swimming and cycling, right? So that's why you see I wrote 55 here. If that's 55, those who are doing cycling only, I mean swimming only, it's 5. Those who are doing cycling only will be 15. Then I've completed my Venn diagram. Okay. Now, one member of the fitness club is chosen at random. That's probability. They're picking any student at random, any member at random. Find the probability of picking C. C is the cycling. How many do you have in total? 70. Those who are doing cycling, they are 70. And the total members is 100. What are the chances of that? It will be 70 over 100. Probability of any event, that means will be number of C, okay, over sample space, the total of all of them together. Okay, very good. Now, find the probability of S intersection C. S intersection C, intersection is the common one, is this one. Out of the total, that's why it's 55 out of 100, and that will be the answer. Now, Roman 3, find the probability of SC union C complement. Find the probability of SC union SC complement. That one is everything in S, including outside. So it is this part, together, plus this, and outside, okay? That's what you're supposed to be doing, okay? It's going to be that. So that's why you see I did 5 plus 55 plus 25, because it's the whole of S. You get that? And then outside 25. Very good. So now when you work out that one, the probability will be 85 over 100. You can simplify or you don't simplify. In probability, It doesn't matter unless you have been told to simplify. Okay, very good. Next question, question 13. They told you the value of m is given by 2 power 7 and 3 power 3 times 5 squared. That's prime factors of your value of m. Write 14m as a product of its prime factors. Easy as pie. You already have this one in as prime factors, product of prime factors. Then you need to write this one. So you need to you put it into its prime factors. So that the 14 is going to be 2 times 7. But here I had 2, and then I have another 2. So that means if I multiply that, I'll get, I had 2 power 7, and now I'm including another 2 because of that. That's why I have 8 here. Then 7, and here we didn't have 7, so that's why I have power 1 here, and that is your answer. Are we together here? Very good. Question B. R is an integer, and m over r is a cube number. The keyword here is, the keyword is actually, okay? Find the smallest possible value of r. So we know the value of m, guys. The m is here, is 2 power 7, 3 power 3 times 5 squared. Divided by r. It should give me a cube number. This one here, the cube number is 1 power 3, 2 power 3, and then 3 power 3. I'm not going to do all of them. Then you keep on working, and then you have to find which one will give you the smallest value. Now, the trick in the question is to see, this is already a cube number. This one is not a problem. The problem is this. So if you are looking for the smallest value, the possible value of that, you have to note that this and 2, because this is 2 power 7. Do you get that? If I'm to reduce it to 2 power 6, it's already a cube number. Do you understand that? So now it's 2 power 7, which is not a cube number. But if I divide by 2 power 1, I already have a cube number. Then this is 25, it's not a cube number. That's why you divide that. So these two, if they simplify, then you are going to produce an integer, and then this one will be a cube number. And the smallest value of that will be this, which is 25 times 2, and that gives you 50. Very good. Question 13. 14. Find the value of this. Okay? The value of that one is very easy. When you divide numbers of the same basis, you subtract the powers. So it is 3 power 2. You have to subtract minus 2. And then here the sign is changed. Then you get 3 power 4. And that's what you have. I have a very good video on rows of indices and anything related to solving indices. You can go and watch that video, and it will help you to understand all questions, because all questions of indices and all questions I did, their past paper, IGCSE past paper questions, including additional math past paper questions as well. So it's very good. It will give you the strong foundation of indices. Even if you are doing IBDP, it will be very good for you. Guys, like, share, comment, and I would like to hear if these videos are helping you, okay? Are they helpful, guys? Let me know. Very good. Now, I told you, whenever I see the question like that, and you see this, the best thing you always do, express this in powers. 16 is 2 power 4. That's why you see I have that. Then when I simplify, I'm going to remain with the 2. 2 here. 2 times negative 3, you get negative 6. So it's 2 power negative 6. Then using rows of indices, a power minus m, which is the same as 1 over a power m, that gives me 1 over 2 power 6. And 2 power 6 is 64. That is your answer here. Okay. Question 15. Factorize. Easy. X squared minus that. That's the difference of 2 squares. It will be x squared minus d. Well, what's square root of 64, guys? It's 8. So that means I can write x squared, and then by using difference of 2 squares, and that gives me that. Never go to a GCSE exam when you don't know how to factorize difference of 2 squares. Very common questions, either in paper 2 or paper 4. Non-calculator or calculator paper, difference of 2 squares is always common in the exam. Okay, very good. Now, next question. They told you factorize. Okay. This question, they already factorized, but they want you to factorize completely. You have to see this is the same as that. To make sure you fully understand, I did copy down this, the way it's here now. Then this one, because it's x minus 2 squared, I wrote it twice. Are we together? Now, I want you to pay attention. This one, let me not cancel. This one and this are the same. Can I factorize that? If I take it outside, I will remain with 5. Here, this is gone. What do I mean with 6 bracket x minus 2y? Now, here we need to simplify. This one is x minus 2y. Here, it will be 5x. Then here will be 6x. Then minus 12y. So this and this gives me 11x minus 12y. Then that is your final answer. And we have fully factorized it. Okay? Now, another question here. AB. This is about polygon, guys. Polygons. So you have to be careful with that. AB and BD are two sides of a regular polygon or 15-sided polygon. Okay? AB and BC are two sides of an irregular n-sided polygon. Angle BDBC, it is 14 degrees solution. Work out the value of n. In other words, find the number of sides of this any polygon. Okay? There are very many ways of approaching this question. I decided to approach it this way because I thought it is easier and faster, especially when you don't have a calculator. Okay? Now, we know that the sum of interior angles of any polygon, the sum of exterior angles of any polygon, the sum of exterior angles of any polygon is 360. Now, if I get 360 divided by 15, it will give me the exterior angle of which one? Of this one. Basically, it is giving me the exterior angle of that. So what is the interior angle of this one inside? Because if the exterior angle is 24, the interior angle will be 156. Do you understand, guys? Now, for the second one, this one, for it, its interior angle goes all the way here. That is the all of its interior angle. So which means it's 156 plus 14, and that is the interior angle of this n-sided polygon. Now, what is the exterior angle here? Exterior angle here will be 10 degrees because angles on a straight line add up to 180. Normally, when you get one interior angle plus one exterior angle, should always give you 180 degrees because interior angle and exterior angle, they make a straight line. Okay, very good. Now, as I said here, as I said there, we need to know that exterior angle is always given by 360 over number of sides. So therefore, number of sides still can be 360 divided by exterior angle. So if the exterior angle is that, I'll get 360 divided by 10, and then we get 36 sides. I hope you have understood. If there's anything you don't understand, just write in the comment. I'll get back to you. EK Math will have mathematics. Okay? Good. I enjoy teaching, guys. It's my passion. Okay? Very good. B is the point this, and right now I'm doing 17. B is the point which is that, and D is the point that. And they say BD is the diagonal of a kite. I tried to sketch it here. This is just a sketch of a kite. They said it's A, B, C, D. That's my sketch so that you'll be able to visualize what I'm doing. Okay? Very good. Now, if this is what we have, they said the ratio of the length of the diagonal BD and AC is given by that. Work out the lengths of AC. They give your answer in sides. Okay? Now, if I'm to do the question, I should start with BD because BD is fine, right? You see, I have coordinate B and I have coordinate D. How do we find the length? The distance between 2 points. Square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus square y2 minus y1 squared. That's the formula I use it here. So that's why I did x2 minus x1. This one minus that, and this minus that. Then when you work out, you're going to have BD as that. Then they told us AC is the ratio of BD and AC are in this ratio. So in other words, 2 is equivalent to that. What about the 3? Just do proportion and then work out. You can first get 1 unit. You can get this, divide by 2 to get 1 unit, then times 3, and that will give you the final answer as that. Okay, find the coordinates of the midpoint, BD. The coordinates of midpoint, BD, is going to be the midpoint. The form is x1 plus x2 over 2, y1 plus y2 over 2. And then I use the midpoint of BD. That means it's this plus that, then this plus that, and divide by 2. So your midpoint is going to be that. Find the diagonal SC of the kite passing through the midpoint of BD. Basically, this question, they're just asking you perpendicular bisector of BD. Do you get that? Okay, they're asking the equation of SC, and it's going to be a perpendicular bisector of BD. So now, if I'm to get the equation of SC, because I don't have the coordinates of A and C, I have to start by getting the gradient of BD. And I know it's passing through the midpoint. And here it has to be 90 degrees, okay? Now, the gradient of BD will be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That gives me the gradient of BD. Line BD is that one. Now, because the line BD and the line AC, they are perpendicular, I applied this formula. Guys, I hope you know that one. Product of two lines, if they're perpendicular, the product of the two gradients of the lines should always give you -1. So the gradient of the second line will be equal to -1 over gradient 1. So the gradient 1 is -4. Then I did it -1 divided by -4. So that's how I got the gradient of the line AC, which is perpendicular to BD, to be that. So y is given by 1 over x, 1 over 4x plus t. And I have to use the midpoint because this line is passing through the midpoint. So the midpoint was -4, 5. So the y is 5, the x is -4. So this one simplifies. With that. Then I'll get 5 equals to -1 plus t. When I correct like terms, t will be equal to 6. So the equation will be given by 1 over 4x plus t, 6. Ooh la la. Very interesting. Very good. Question 18, rationalize the denominator and then simplify. Rationalizing, that means you get the denominator. If it's plus, you multiply by minus. If it's minus, you do plus. So this time we have plus. I have to multiply both the numerator and denominator when I've just changed that. So this was plus, I changed it to be minus, and I multiply it up and down. So 20 times that gives me 80. 20 times that gives me 20, square root of 6. 4 times 4, 16. 4 times the square root of 4, I mean square root of 6, gives me 4 square root of 6. Square root of 6 times 4 gives me plus square root of 6. Square root of 6 times minus square root of 6 will give me square root of 36, and square root of 36 is 6. Okay, this one is the same as that, they cancel out. So I'll remain with 80 minus 20, square root of 6, and here will give me 16 minus 4, and that gives me 80 minus 20, square root of 6 over 10. And then because I want to simplify, I factorize 10. The highest common factor is 10. And then this one cancels out with that. And that is the answer. And I've got my full marks. Question 19. The diagram shows a box in a shape of a cuboid. Mara has a straight rod of a length. The length of the rod is 10 centimeters. Show that this rod does not fit completely inside the box. The simple thing to know that you have to get the diagonal of the box. When I was drawing, I tried to do this one. You get that? Or you can just go with any direction. You get that, guys? You can go with that. Just any diagonal. Okay? Even the other one. But let us go with the one I did. Okay? Now, how do we get that? This diagonal, you have to know here, it's going to be Pythagoras theorem, right? At the bottom. So if we have to consider, I'm going to have, let me start with the smaller triangle at the bottom. So it's going to be, because it's a rectangle, then if I go like that, I'm going to have 90 degrees, and this is 5 here, and then this is 5. So this line at the bottom is going to be square root of 5 squared, 25. 5 squared, 25. So which will give me square root of 50. Okay, let me not simplify because it's not necessary. Okay, now that has given me this one here. Now, how do we get that? Now, I'm going to have another right angle triangle. Oh, my bad, just have a few minutes. I'm going to have this. Okay, this is the square root of 50. And then here, this is the 7. So how do I get that? It's going to be square root of 50 squared plus 7 squared. All of it on the square side. So, but without wasting your time, whenever it's such a question and you're looking for that, just do this squared plus this squared plus this squared and find the square root of that. So where you see here, and this if you add gives you 50, like the one I'm going to have here, plus 49, like the way I have it here. So the length is going to be square root. The length of this cuboid is going to be square root of 99. But this one has a length of 10. So that means if I do square root of this, it's going to be less than 10. So that means it's not going to fit because 100, this squared is less than that. It's not fitting, right? Very good. Question 20. This is about functions. Then they told you find g of 2. Just substitute there 3 brackets 2 plus 4. That is 6 plus 4, then gives you 10. Then they said find the gf of negative 1. Start by putting negative 1 in your function. So it will be 21 bracket 2 bracket, 2 bracket negative 1 minus 1. That is giving me negative 2 minus 1. That gives me negative 3. So 21 divided by negative 3 gives me negative 7. Then this one, you put it in G. So it was going to give me 3 bracket negative 7 plus 4. That gives me negative 21 plus 4. Then gives me negative 17. Is that okay? Then they said find the inverse of my function. Okay? Very good question. How do we get the inverse of the function? You rate your function equal to y given. Then you swap x and y. Then you make y the subject. So step 1, I did let y equal to my function given. Then swap x and y. Then make y the subject. I did cross multiplication here. When I cross multiply, I'm going to have x bracket 2y minus 1. Which then remember I'm making y the subject. So don't open the bracket. So that means you'll be wasting your time. I divided by x, that gives me 2y minus 1 equals to 21 over x. I'm making y the subject, take one the other side, then divide by 2. So the answer will be given by this or this. Here, I found LCM, or you can leave it without finding common denominator. Okay? Very good. Question B, they said solve fx equals to gx. So fx is 21. I hope you can see that. 21 over 2x minus 1, and gx is that I equate the 2. So 21 over 2x minus 1 equals to 3x plus 4. What do I do next? This over 1 cross multiply. Then I'll get 21 equals to 2x minus 1 into 3x plus 4. Then I'll get 21. Open the brackets here. So this times that gives me 6x squared. This times that gives me 8x. This times that gives me minus 3x. This times that gives me minus 4. The next thing is correcting like terms. Take everything the other side. This is 6x, 8x. By the way, this one gives me 5x, okay? Then 6x squared plus 5x, then minus 4 minus 21. It's positive when it goes on the other side, it will be minus. Then, this gives me a quadratic equation. So I need to factorize. So you get this one times that, gives me that. That's the product, okay? The sum will be this one. So it's going to be 5. This is your 5 here, right? Okay, now, after getting product and sum, ask yourself, what are my two numbers I must try to get 150, and when I add them, I get the positive 5. That is 15 and negative 10, right? So now, substitute in your function. So it will be 6x squared plus 15x minus 10x minus 25. So these two, group them. So it will be 3x bracket 2x plus 5 minus 5 bracket 2x plus 5 equals to 0. Now, when you reach here, these two are the same. Wow, that's good. So you get 3x minus 5, and these two are the same. We write one of them. And when you're multiplying two numbers and get 0, that means one of them is equal to 0 or whatever it is, okay? One of them is equal to 0. So I get 3x minus 5 equal to 0, and 2x plus 5 equal to 0. So the x will be, When you solve, it will be 5 over 3 and the minus 5 over 2. Okay, very good. Question 21. This is they're asking you to sketch the cost graph. I can just do this one more time. There's nothing wrong to know that. Here it's 1, 0. And this is 0, 1. And this is negative 1, 0. And then this is 0, negative 1. Are we together here? Very good. Now, if that's what we have, so what is this, by the way? This is what helps you to know the value of sine and cos on the unit circle. Okay? Now, here, cos will be 1. Sine will be 0. That's here I'm talking about 0 degrees, 90 degrees, 180 degrees, 270 degrees, and 360. Now, at this point, cos is 1. Sine is 0. At this point, cos is 0, sine is positive. Then cos is negative 1, sine is 0. Now, let me just try to do the question very fast. If there's something you don't understand, just write in the comment, then I'll get back to you. Very good. Now, at 0, what is happening at cos? At 0, cos is going to be positive 1, so that's why I put it at maximum. What about at 90? Cos is going to be 0. Then what about at 180? It's going to be negative 1. That's why I say put it here. What about at at 180 is negative 1. 270 is going to go back to 0. And then 360 goes back to 1. And with your free hand, you join your points. Just join your points with your free hand. Don't use the Aurora, guys. Okay? Please, do that. Don't do that. Okay? Very good. Question B. Solve this. Okay, it's just correcting like terms. 2 cos x plus square root of 3 equal to 0. Then take this on the other side. I'm going to have 2 cos x equals 2 minus square root of 3. Then I have square root of 3 over 2. And then do cos inverse of that. You're supposed to know your exact angles, guys. So from what you know, I expect you to be knowing. Let me talk about cos, okay? Cos 30 is going to be square root of 3 over 2, guys, okay? Because sine 30 is a half. And they are complementary angles, okay? So if it's a half, so let me just focus on that. So as you can see, this is cos 30. But this one is negative. Where do we know that cos is negative? Okay, just a second here. In the first quarter of your quadrant, first quarter, all sine and cos and tan they are positive. But here it's only sine that is positive. Here it's only tan that is the positive. And here it's cos that is positive. So where do we have sine negative? Sine is negative in the second quarter and in the third quarter. Second quarter's cos is negative. So after knowing that it's going to be 30, but I need to look for the angle. So how do we get angles in the second quadrant? We get 180 minus the acute angle, and that's how we're getting 150. Then how do we get angles in the third quadrant? 180 plus 210, and that gives me, sorry, my bad. What did I say? 210 plus 30, and that gives me 210. Is that okay, guys? Very good. Good. Question 21. A graph has an equation of this and has a minimum point of that. Okay, whenever they say minimum point, there are two things that should come in your mind. You can go with the vertex. Vertex of finding, completing the squares, or you do first derivative equal to 0. Me, I decided to go with first derivative equal to 0 because I noticed that that's the one that's going to be easier. So can you do the derivative of this, guys? It will be 2x. Derivative of bx will be b. Derivative of c will be 0. Cos c is a constant. It doesn't have x. Now, at the maximum or a minimum, your gradient should always be equal to 0. So that means if I put negative 1, negative 5 in my function, it should be equal to 0. At the maximum or a minimum, the gradient of your graph or your function should always be equal to 0. Very good. So that's why I did it 2 bracket negative 5 plus b equal to 0. And this is negative 10 when you take it the other side. So b is equal to 10. Okay. I've got the value of b. Then I can use my point. This is the x value and that's y value. Substitute in here and then you try to get the question. f of -5 is 12, because that's what they gave me. So it's going, I'm substituting here. That's -5 squared plus b bracket -5 plus c is equal to 12. But we have the value of b, do we? So -5 squared is c, 25. What's the b value is 10. Bracket -5 plus c. Then I'll get 25 minus 50. Then plus c is equal to 12. Then this is z, 25. -25. When I take it there, we positive. So the value of c and b is that. Very good. Question 23. It's about sectors. And then they say the diagram shows a major sector. And then they say the sector and the radius show that the arc length will be given by that. The formula of arc length is the angle over 360 times 2 pi r. So when you substitute there, 240 over 360 times 2 pi r times 12. And then when this simplified and this simplified by, let me see, the easier way here. I don't want something that is confusing you. Let me simplify. By 4, I'll get 6. Can I go by 6? Because they're highest. By 6, I'll get 4. By 6, I'll get 6. Okay? Then by 6, I'll get 1. By 6, I'll get 2. What's 2 times 2, guys? 4. 4 times 4, 16. Then I'll get times pi, I'll get 16 pi. Okay, very good. Very good question by them. Very good question B. They say they are joining they are getting this sector and they turn it into a cone. They are turning this into a cone. Okay. The idea is if you turn this one into a cone, your arc length is going to be a cone. Do you know how it is? Oh my God. But I can go with, let me try to sketch. This is a simple sketch. So the arc length is going to be equal to the circumference of my circle at the bottom. That's why you see, to get the radius of this, to get the radius of that, we can use a different color. Because here I'm going to have the radius. To get the radius of that, and then this is the height. So I have to get the radius, I should have the height, and then this, the length. But this one, let me not use S. This one is not, okay, I'll get back to that. That one is going to become your radius, okay? So when you combine, when you get this, you see that? That's going to be your circle here, okay? Very good. 2 pi r equals to 16. That gives me the radius of my circle at the bottom. Okay? Now, because the question was talking about the volume, I can't do the volume without the height. But I know this is 12. Why 12? The radius becomes the arc length of the cone. And then the radius, you get it by using the arc length. Okay? So, I have to do Pythagoras theorem, guys, to get that. Because that is the right angle triangle. Do you see that? This is the radius, which I got as 8. I can double check. Yes, I got 8. And then here it is 12. So I need to get the height. So if I do Pythagoras theorem, so I will say the height squared will be equal to slanting side, the arc length, the length of the cone minus the radius of that. So which will be 12 squared minus 8 squared. And then when you work out, you're going to get square root of 80. And that gives me this. How do we get the volume of a cone? Excuse me, the volume of a cone is going to be 1 over 3 pi radius squared. The formula is written here. So it's going to be 1 over 3 pi times 8 squared, which is the radius, times the height, the one we have calculated. So here, the remaining thing is simplifying, right? Now, what is the 8 squared? 64. 64 times 4. This and this. That gives me 256 over 3 square root of 5 pi. And that is the answer. I hope you understand. Very good. Question is 24. This is again about indices. 27 power nx equals to 9x, 9 power x squared. Okay, express everything to the same base. I put all of them to base 3. 27 is 3 power 3 bracket nx. And then here, 9 is 3 squared, bracket that. Now, if the bases are equal, powers are going to be equal. So get this one and equate it to this. So I'll get 3nx equals to 4x. X cancels out with X, or when men with Z, 4n equals 2. 3n equals to 4, then divide by 3, n will be equal to that. Okay? Thank you very much. Thank you for watching. EK Math We Love Mathematics. Kindly like, share, comment to motivate me to keep on doing more videos. I hope the videos are helping you guys. Thank you very much. Stay safe and stay blessed. EK Math We Love Mathematics.